Rangers are gearing up for what could be one of the most decisive summers in recent years, with glaring gaps across the squad and key players possibly eyeing exits in search of fresh challenges. The coming transfer window is already shaping up to be a hectic period at Ibrox. The urgency is clear. This team, while still in the mix for silverware, needs a rebuild, and by the looks of it, the groundwork might already be underway. Reports suggest Rangers could be closing in on a deal for a new defender before the window even opens, sparking fresh hope among supporters desperate to see real investment in the spine of the team. Defensive frailties have haunted this squad. At various points throughout the campaign, and with players like Ben Davies currently out on loan and unlikely to return as key figures reinforcing the backline, has become a non-negotiable. Davies himself has admitted he's open to the idea of a permanent stay at Birmingham City, where he's finally found consistent game time and form. Since making the move south, he's clocked over 37 appearances and has been instrumental in Birmingham's push for promotion back to the Championship. They sit comfortably at the top of League One, 13 points ahead of Wrexham, and are also preparing for a Wembley showdown in the EFL Trophy final against Peterborough United. While Davies is technically still under contract with Rangers until the summer of 2026, all signs point towards a permanent departure. The player has made it clear that his focus is on the present, helping Birmingham finish strong, and that he'll weigh up his options once the season ends. He's enjoying his football, and the opportunity for a fresh start somewhere he's appreciated and regularly playing seems too appealing to ignore. Rangers, on the other hand, likely see this as a chance to free up wages and bring in someone who fits the long-term vision of the club. But squad changes are only one piece of the puzzle. Internally, the club has been dealing with drama off the pitch as well. During their recent Europa League clash against Fenerbahce, what should have been a celebratory night quickly became marred by controversy. After a tense penalty shootout win that booked Rangers a place in the quarterfinals against Athletic Bilbao, attention shifted away from the pitch due to a banner displayed by a section of traveling supporters. UEFA didn't hesitate. Labeling the banner as racist and discriminatory, they quickly imposed a series of punishments on the Glasgow side. Rangers now face multiple sanctions, including a hefty £25,000 fine, additional penalties totaling over £8,000 for blocked passageways and objects thrown onto the pitch, and a clear warning: any repeat offence in the next 2 years will see the Copland Stand, one of Ibrox's most iconic sections, forced to close for at least one European fixture. In response, the club is moving swiftly, identifying those responsible and issuing lifetime bans. Their stance is unapologetically firm. They're determined not to let the actions of a few ruin the image and integrity of the club on the European stage. Still, this has opened up a fierce debate. While many agree that zero tolerance is the right approach, some argue that lifetime bans are too extreme. Financial expert Stefan Borson weighed in pointing out that although clubs have significant control over who they allow into stadiums, the lack of an external appeal process means those banned have virtually no recourse. He even referenced past cases where fans charged by police were later cleared in court but still faced bans from their clubs. According to Borson, the enforcement of such bans needs careful oversight, and UEFA itself hasn't always shown consistency in handling similar incidents. Their track record on racism and discriminatory behavior, he noted, is patchy at best, making this severe punishment seem like an attempt to overcorrect past leniency. Even so, Rangers appear fully committed to sending a message: actions that put the club's reputation at risk will not be tolerated, especially on the international stage where the spotlight is brightest. With a massive tie against Athletic Bilbao looming, the hope is that focus can now return to football. Fans want the narrative to shift back to goals tactics and potential glory, not off-field chaos. And speaking of on-pitch drama, the recent comeback win over Dundee perfectly summed up the roller coaster season Rangers have had. With Barry Ferguson stepping in as caretaker boss, all eyes were on how the team would respond under pressure. At halftime, Rangers found themselves trailing 2-0 with Simon Murray and Joe Shaughnessy putting the visitors ahead, albeit with the latter scoring an unfortunate own goal to keep Rangers in it. According to striker Cyril Desires, the mood in the dressing room at halftime wasn't one of despair. In fact, Ferguson kept things calm, positive, and focused. Dezers recalled the manager telling the squad to keep their heads up, reminding them that there was still 45 minutes left to play. The message was simple: fight on belief and stay in the game. And that's exactly what happened. Despite going 3-1 down shortly after the restart, Rangers clawed their way back with grit, determination, and no small amount of drama. They eventually secured a stunning 4-3 win in front of a roaring Ibrox crowd. For Dezers, it was a night of persistence finally paying off. The Nigerian forward had a staggering 12 shots throughout the match, struggling to find the back of the net until the dying moments when he controlled a long ball beautifully and slotted it past Trevor Carson. It was a moment of relief and redemption. As he said himself after the game, "I know I'm going to create chances. It's just about keeping my head in the game and being ready for the next one." That mentality, gritty and resilient, is exactly what Rangers need heading into the final stretch of the season. Off the pitch, former Rangers striker Martin Waghorn also made headlines this week after coming out of retirement to help Derby County in their fight against relegation. Waghorn had only recently announced his retirement in February, but with Derby in desperate need of leadership and experience, he's decided to return in a non-playing capacity to support the squad. While he won't be registered for the final 8 games of the season, manager John Eustace is hopeful that his presence in training will galvanize the group and provide a much-needed morale boost. Waghorn, who scored 44 goals in 78 appearances during his time at Ibrox, remains a fan favorite and someone who always embodied the kind of spirit Rangers fans admire. As for what comes next, Rangers face a critical moment. Now, the transfer window, the ongoing European campaign, and internal decisions about leadership and squad structure all hang in the balance. There's an expectation, not just from fans, but from within the club, that this summer must be different. It can't be more of the same. Recruitment needs to be smarter, discipline needs to be tighter, and performances need to reflect the stature of a club that sees itself among the elite of European football. If the past few weeks have shown anything, it's that the club is standing at a crossroads. And the next steps will define not just the upcoming season, but potentially the next chapter in Rangers' long and storied history. And while all eyes remain on the rebuild and the future, Rangers cannot afford to lose sight of the present. The season is far from over, and every match from this point forward holds serious weight, with the league title still mathematically within reach and a shot at silverware in the domestic cup's consistency becomes the key word. But that has been the Achilles heel of this side. Moments of brilliance have too often been followed by inexplicable dips in form, and fans have grown weary of the same patterns repeating. That's why the next steps from the boardroom to the dressing room need to show something different, something more calculated, more ambitious. One of the big talking points among supporters has been the need for a proper identity on the pitch. The current squad, while filled with talent in pockets, lacks a clear blueprint. Too many games have seen Rangers start strong only to fade or struggle to break down teams sitting deep. It's not about effort. Few can question a commitment. Shown in games like the comeback against Dundee or the Europa League battle in Turkey, but there's a tactical sharpness missing. A structure that allows the team to control matches rather than chase them. That's where the incoming signings, especially in midfield and attack, will play a pivotal role. Rangers need players who can dictate tempo break lines and create real danger. Not just moments of magic, but sustained quality. That brings us back to the transfer strategy. Over the last few windows, fans have seen a mixed bag. Some signings have settled in, while others have failed to make any lasting impact. The challenge now is twofold: trimming the fat and bringing in players who not only fit the system, but have the mentality to thrive under the pressure of playing at Ibrox. It's a cauldron, and not everyone is built for it. The recruitment team will need to be ruthless, particularly with players who have underperformed or haven't lived up to expectations. Sentimentality has no place when the goal is to build a squad capable of challenging both domestically and in Europe. On that European front, the clash against Athletic Bilbao looms large. It's a tie that will not only test Rangers' mettle, but also provide a real measure of how far this squad has come. Athletic are no pushovers. They're tactically disciplined, physically aggressive, and carry plenty of attacking threat. Rangers will need to be at their absolute best over both legs to stand a chance. But there's also opportunity here. A win. would catapult them into the Europa League semi-finals and send a strong message that this team isn't just here to make up the numbers, that European nights at Ibrox still carry the same fire, the same magic that has defined so many of the club's greatest moments. And while that match may define the spring, the summer would define the club's next era. There's talk of changes not just in the playing squad, but possibly higher up as well. The fans want clarity, they want vision, and above all, they want results. The next manager, whether it remains an interim appointment or a long-term hire, will have to be someone who brings authority and adaptability, someone who understands what it means to represent Rangers, but also has the tactical nous to compete with the modern game's demands. It's not just about passion or understanding the club culture anymore. Those things matter, yes, but there needs to be a plan, a philosophy, and a willingness to evolve. The same applies to the youth system, an area where Rangers have lagged behind. In recent years, developing talent from within, giving youngsters a real pathway to the first team and integrating them into the senior setup should be a priority. Not every solution needs to come from the transfer market. Sometimes the answer is already at home waiting for a chance. With the right mentorship and opportunities, the academy could become a cornerstone again, just as it once was. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the fallout from UEFA sanctions continues to ripple. The controversy may have shifted from the headlines, but it's left a mark. Internally, there's now more emphasis than ever on fan behavior, on responsibility, and on representing the club in the right way. This isn't just about avoiding fines or avoiding stand closures. This is about pride, about ensuring that when Rangers travel abroad, they do so with the same class and unity that the badge demands. The club is adamant that the recent episode was an outlier, but it's also made clear that anyone who risks the reputation of the team will not be welcome back. In many ways, the club is in transition, not just on the pitch, but in identity, leadership, and culture. There's potential for a new dawn, one built on the lessons of the past and the ambitions of a brighter future. But it's a delicate moment, and the margin for error is slim. Success won't come from one signing or one victory. It'll come from a string of smart decisions, from leadership that inspires, and from a dressing room that believes. The fans will do their part. They always do. The question now is whether the people running the club, from the directors to the players, will match that energy. As the final weeks of the season approach, there's everything still to play for. Every game, every training session, every decision counts. The club stands on the edge of something. It could be greatness, or it could be another false dawn. But for Rangers, standing still is never an option. The challenge is massive. The expectations are enormous. But then again, this is Rangers. That's exactly how it should be. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Ever wondered about a $1 billion deal that could change the landscape of European football? Rumors have been swirling that Fraser Thornton, the current president of Rangers Football Club, is negotiating the sale of the Scottish club to Greek magnate Evangelos MARINAKIS, a man with a proven track record in the sporting world. But how much truth is there to these speculations? Fraser Thornton, who took over as president of Rangers in December 2024, brought with him a solid career in the beverage industry and a deep connection to the club, having been a lifelong supporter. Since taking charge, he's faced significant challenges, including criticism over the team's performance and the club's management. In a recent interview, Thornton expressed concerns over Rangers' decline over the last decade, highlighting the need for urgent changes. On the other hand, Evangelos MARINAKIS is a heavyweight name in European football. The owner of Olympiacos in Greece and Nottingham Forest in England, MARINAKIS has a history of successful investments and strategic vision in the sporting world. His potential involvement with Rangers could mean not only an influx of capital, but also a major restructuring that could take the club to new heights. However, it's important to note that so far, there's been no official confirmation regarding the sale of Rangers to MARINAKIS. The available information is based on speculation and rumors with no concrete evidence to suggest that advanced negotiations are taking place. Therefore, while the idea is exciting, we should treat it with caution and wait for official announcements. In the meantime, fans and pundits continue to debate the future of Rangers. eager for changes that could restore the club to its former glory. The possibility of a deal with MARINAKIS keeps hope alive, but for now, it remains in the realm of speculation. We'll have to stay tuned for the next chapters in this unfolding story and hope that Rangers find their way back to success once again. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated. By Rangers FC, and don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.